Okay, tonight we're gonna make a soup out of Brussels sprouts. Most people, or I say at least kids, will gag when you talk about Brussels sprouts. And to be honest with you, I'm not real fond of them myself. But I'll tell you what, I made this soup one time, and the flavors of it, well, as the book even describes, they will stay with you for a couple of days. I did. I found myself thinking about this soup, just thinking, oh, it's so good. And it comes from my favorite book, which happens to be a cookbook, and that's this one, the 12 Months of Monastery Soups by Brother Victor Antoine Davila La Tourette. And this has so many good soups in it, but tonight's comes from this one, and it's called, let's see what it's called, Brussels sprout soup. No fancy name, just Brussels sprout soup. But it's a really, really good soup that I've made before. I believe I've made this one before, and it's just surprising that they can make Brussels sprouts taste good enough to make you get out. Let's go over the ingredients that we're going to need for tonight's soup. All right, well, tonight's soup is really simple. So all we're going to need is, we've got 2 quarts of water. Now, before I tell you, everything I have here is doubled. So for you, you're probably going to want to half everything that I tell you, okay? Because I have doubled the recipe for my family. And I have 2 quarts of water. I've got 2 pounds of Brussels sprouts chopped up or sliced up thinly. I've got 6 leeks sliced thinly, washed and sliced thinly. Get rid of the top green part. I have 4 egg yolks. I have, I can't remember how much flour. 4, 5, 6 tablespoons of flour. I've got the equivalent of 4 bullion cubes, but we're using 4 teaspoons of better than bullion chicken stock, and 9 tablespoons, I think, of olive oil. And we're also going to use some French bread slices. Well, you'll see why later. So that's all we need to make tonight's soup. Alright, I've taken half of my water and heated it up. It's almost boiling. I'm going to add to that water, half of the water, the Brussels sprouts. And the leeks. Oh, I love leeks. They're like a cross between an onion and a garlic. And I'm going to cook these in this for 5 minutes. Okay, now that that's cooked for 5 minutes, we are going to add to this. See, it smells cabbagey. Doesn't smell that appetizing yet. So to this, we are going to add our bouillon. And get every bit of it. And our olive oil. I want to get all of that. Oh, hey, our ramekins broken. and the other half of our water. That's going to cool down everything. All right. So we're going to cook this for 40 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to a boil, and I'm going to cook it let it simmer for about 40 minutes. All right. Test, test, test. Okay. All right. Well, that has cooked for 40 minutes. We are going to now take the flour, put it in a bowl, and we're going to add, I'm going to add eight tablespoons of our broth here. That's about 3. That's about 3, 6. All right, now what do I do with my fork? All right, so we're going to mix this in and make a little paste out of it. So it's going to be kind of like a slurry almost. Well, maybe a little more. Oh, that's right, because I need to double it. Wasn't thinking. I want to mix this up and make a paste out of it. And then add it back into the soup to help it thicken. Let's see if I get enough here. Oops. What you don't want to do is get a little piece, where the flour doesn't mix, so that you get balls of flour in your soup. That would not be good for the soup spoon. Let's get a little more. There. Making a little paste here. Alright, I'm going to add this back in here. We do that so that it doesn't, because you can get, when you add a hot liquid to flour, what happens is the outside of the flour will harden, but the inside is just flour. So it just doesn't work. All right. So you have to be sure that you can make kind of a roux out of it, which is what I did there. Just kind of make a roux. So we're gonna stir that in and then let it cook for about another 5 minutes. Still on, I guess. Okay, so, well, that's cooked. And I sure wish I had my stick blender, and I should have added a little more liquid to that little slurry, because I think we're going to have some dumplings in here. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our egg yolks. Put them in a bowl. We're going to add, I'm going to add 12 spoons of liquid to that. Actually, alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slice of that bread and put it in my, well, I'll show you. So, okay, let's give this a try. Here's how you serve it. You take a slice of your French bread and we're going to put that down in the bottom of our bowl, our soup bowl. And on top of that, we're going to add a spoonful of this egg mixture that we have. I may just add a couple. And then we ladle on some soup on this, and that'll help cook those eggs. Put on a few ladles of this soup here. Oh, yeah. Now, you can cook this, after you cook it, blend it in a blender or with a stick blender, which is probably what I would have done, but I couldn't find my stick blender. I don't know what I did with it since we moved to our new studios. All right, I'm going to add a little salt because I haven't added any yet. A few sprinkles of kosher salt, and some grinds of black pepper. Okay, this is going to be hot. Here goes. I cannot wait. Because I know Brussels sprouts don't seem like they'd be very good, but let's just see. Some of the bread, the sprouts, and the leeks. Leeks are such a mild flavoring. Wow. By George, we've done it again. That's another good one. That is really flavorful. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they must be good. I mean, it's not like there's scrambled eggs in there, but they're mixed in. So, wow. I think this is one everybody would like. Well, I have to thank Brother Antoine from my favorite cookbook here. He's every soup that I've ever made that comes out of this, except for the children's soup with the milk and the berries and stuff, has been just exceptional. So I recommend this book if you're into cooking soups. This one's really good. Every soup that we've gotten out of there, this one with Brussels sprouts, this Brussels sprout soup especially, is good enough to make you get out. Most people think of Brussels sprouts and gag, but we're not going.